It's Powertools. We got Lilly Palmer in the house. How are you doing?
I'm very good. I slept like 10 hours, so
Okay, that's good. Sleep is good when you're after long flights, jet lag. Yeah, let's start off there. How do you handle jet lag?
Yeah, well, sometimes you just have to get through it. I don't know. It can be really hard, but eat healthy.
Right.
Don't take substances.
Right. Can you sleep on the plane?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah, you get good sleep
I like
on the
it.
plane.
I like in the plane. Yeah, sometimes the long flights are actually the only moment where I can watch a movie and really relax because I can't really work.
Right.
So I don't mind it, but yeah, sometimes it's hard if you have a lot of gigs after each other. But yeah, I don't want to complain. This is a dream life.
No, these are the good problems to have.
Exactly.
So you've had releases on Armada, Factory 99, Drum Code, your own label, Spannung. Did I say that right?
Spannung.
Your own label, Spannung, and Cantor. You've played all over the world, Tomorrowland, EDC, Loveland, Dreamfields. You've had some big collabs with Eli Brown, Thomas Schumacher, Adam Bayer. You've had number ones on Beatport. But let's go back to the beginning of Lilly Palmer. And I want to know, how did you find your passion of dance music? Like, did you hear a song on the radio? Did you hear a set? What made you go, man, I want to do this. I love this.
Yeah, it goes back to my teenage years. I would call myself a little bit of a misfit at school.
Okay.
I really had troubles to fit in and to feel accepted by people, and that gave me a hard time. And in the end, I had only metal listening friends, like people who listen to death metal and rock.
Wow, death metal.
Actually, those people are so nice, you know, because they let their anger out in their music. So they were so nice to me. And two of those friends, and also my first boyfriend, they also listened to techno. And that's how I got introduced to it.
And did they give you like a mix CD, a song? Like, was there something that when you got that, you went, wow?
Well, they listened to it at home, but then I didn't have that feeling yet. It was more my first time going out with them. Right. So in my hometown Nuremberg, they took me to a club called Hirsch. It's like a deer in English. And there it was more like minimal at that time. You know, Monika Kruse, Chris Liebing, Ben Klok, those kind of names. And I remember being there. Everyone danced on their own. And I was like, what is this? I don't understand it, but it feels good.
Right. So that was the moment where it just kind of clicked for you that night. And you went home. And at that point, did you go, okay, no more death metal, and then I'm just now minimal techno, or were you still listening to both?
Yeah, I was in both worlds,
right.
yeah.
Okay, cool. That's very cool. And so you grew up in Germany. How did, growing up in Germany shape you as an artist today?
We have a very good scene there. I know Berlin. I don't really have to talk about it. Everyone knows it. And back then also we traveled a lot. I would drive all the time to Frankfurt, to Munich, to Cologne, and I think it's crazy because you don't really even understand it, how good it is. It's just normal for you that you have that. And even then later when I moved to Zurich, they have a very good deep house underground scene. So it's the best, I think, to start there.
Right. And that's, in speaking of Zurich, that's kind of like where you started as an artist. Like you started playing in bars and clubs. Talk to us about those early days in Zurich and playing at those places.
Yeah, I think my early days were exactly how they should be. Because I've really started in bars where I had no idea, okay, what kind of BPM am I going to play? What kind of tracks? Right. And you learn from just doing it.
Right.
It's also nice because the people, they will forgive you a lot. So it doesn't matter so much if you're wrong, but you will feel it very fast. Okay, this was too hard or too fast BPM. Right. So this experience, you cannot skip that as a good artist. You need to go through that. And I had nights where I played 7 hours of deep house.
Wow.
And I think then it's a test for you as an artist. Do you love this?
Right.
Do you really want to go through that? Because if not, you're going to stop.
Right. So when you play like 7 hours of deep house, are you finding this music on Beatport? How are you like sourcing your music? Because I mean, are you looking on the internet, like who's playing what? I mean, what was giving you the vibes back then?
First of all, I think Shazam was already a thing. So
Okay.
you go to the clubs and you listen to a track, and then later on you find it on your favorite artist page or in a
Right.
mix, And then, yes, of course, Beatport, SoundCloud. And yeah, listening to your favorite artist and then checking, okay, what did they play? And then you buy the track as well.
Right.
That's how it goes.
Now, when you're playing in those small bars, were you like thinking like, man, I want to travel the world? Or was it just more like, or you're like, okay, I'm going to learn my craft here and then I'm going to travel the world? Or you're just like in the moment?
That's a very good question. No one asked me that one before. But I think it's essential. Why do you do this?
Right.
Why do you go through all those challenges? And for me, I just came out of a long relationship which didn't end so well. And for me, this was a new beginning after I was single.
Right.
So for me, it was not about what to reach. It was more about, oh my God, I can finally find myself in this and express myself.
Right.
It was a feeling very free.
Right.
That also in my biography, you will see music is freedom because
Right.
you can do anything with it. But of course, at some point, you're going to ask yourself, okay, am I going to make a living out of that?
Right.
And how much do I want this? And yes, then of course you set goals. But I felt from the beginning, this can be big.
Right.
And I didn't doubt it. But of course, then pandemic came.
Right.
Then you start to doubt.
Yeah, then you start to doubt it.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, no more gigs.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where's the money coming from? Oh, yeah, that was eye-opening for everybody. So now you have your latest single, which is Fire, which is amazing. You flipped one of my all-time favorite tunes, Azzido, the Bass by Timo Maas. Did you know, was this one of your first tunes that you played, the original? What inspired you to work on this song?
Now when I started to play, then that was not my music because I played much softer.
Right.
But now I'm with Contour and with Amada. They were in contact with Azzido the Bass and Timo, and they were like, what about this track? Isn't that something? And I was like, yes, oh my God, this was such a big tune back then. And it's a very, very difficult tune as well to remake. So it's
one sound.
Yes.
Womp.
And it lives also from that it's actually slow and then it's getting faster and faster.
Right.
And then if you do that in a techno version, it's quite difficult to get that feeling right. But my husband and me, I think we killed it.
Okay, nice. You guys work on the music together.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, he's the producer geek, he's the nerd. And I've been so transparent about this from the beginning because I can't do everything.
No, of course not.
We produce together. He's technically he's so crazy. He's so good. And I'm more of the emotion, the feeling. So I'm going to say, this is it. This is how it needs to feel.
Right.
So this works for us.
Nice. I like the partnership, the yin and the yang.
Yeah,
right. You don't want to know exactly how it got in the mix, but you just know when it's right, or you know the vibes.
Yeah.
And you guys, your new single, you guys smashed it. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Let's talk about, you were a fashion model before you started DJing, and I know that you push fashion forward now. Did that help you out in your career? How did that help you out?
Yeah, 100%. It helps me now with every project what I'm doing. It's so much fun. I love fashion still. Maybe in the beginning we also tried to not talk so much about it because, with women and modeling and DJing.
Right.
It was a bit of a thing.
Right.
So when I started, I was wearing just boxy t-shirts and trying to hide that feminine side. But I think now, come on, I'm just no. I'm a female. I'm proud of it. I'm loving it. And I actually just had a big interview with Vogue in the Netherlands, and he would say, okay, it's about fashion, but no, it was so deep. It was very deep about my modeling time, how that that whole pressure of being beautiful, what it does to you.
Right.
How good it is as well, how you
Right.
can use that, but also how difficult it can. It can be quite difficult if you don't understand that being loved and getting attention for your beauty is not everything.
Right. Right.
So I had to go through that as well. It's a big thing.
Now, but on the positive side, I'm sure it gave you confidence in being in front of people, being behind the decks, having composure. There had to be some positive elements that you really use today.
Yes, because first I was very insecure.
Right.
And then you want to be a model because you want to be seen as a beautiful woman.
Right.
First, you hear all the time that something is not so nice. You will hear only the bad things. You know, your
Right.
nose is too big, or you're not thin enough, and all those things. So it's actually more negative than you would think. So you have to grow some confidence, and I think I did that.
Right. And it toughened up your skin.
Yes.
Probably a little bit, yes.
So now, as an artist in this music business, I feel so much more confident because I can use it as a tool, but it's not what it's all about.
Right. That's dope. That's dope. And let's talk about your remix of Armin van Buuren's Blah, Blah, Blah. You're remixing a legend. There had to be some pressure doing this remix because you're like, oh, wow, this is Armin, you know. How did was there pressure on doing this remix, or you just had fun with it?
You would say there should be some pressure,
Yeah.
but in this case, someone of his team, he asked me, "Hey, do you want to remix something from Armin?" And I'm like, "Of course!" And it has to be blah blah blah.
Right.
And then they were like, "Okay, yeah, here are the stems, go for it." And then we worked on it quite shortly, and it just worked out. And normally you don't have that, but it was so fast and so quick that we said, this is it. So I didn't even feel that pressure.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were
Wow.
also so happy with it. So we were like, okay, let's go.
So there wasn't a bunch of changes, nothing
No.
going back and forth. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it when it works out that smooth. That's
Sometimes it just has to be like that, I think.
right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. It's always not as easy.
No.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about your record label. And how do you say your record label again?
Spannung.
Spannung. What
Records.
does that mean?
It's a German word, and it does mean voltage,
Got it.
but it also means tension. And I love that word game because two stories
Yeah.
about it. The one important story is that I met my husband because of a very important track of what he did, and it's called Elektriciteit. That's Dutch
Right.
for voltage and electricity. And so that means that. And the other meaning, tension, for me is that everything what I do has to have tension, and it can be negative, it can be positive, but
Right.
I want to feel something. You know?
Right.
So this word just means that for me.
Nice, nice. So you guys partnered up with Armada and Contour. Talk to us about that partnership. Very cool having your own record label and partnering up with some big boys there.
Yeah, this step has been amazing for me this year. It opens so many doors. Those two teams from Germany and the Netherlands are like perfect for me. My manager is very good friends with both owners, which of course helps as well. You know,
Right.
we feel like a big family, and it's the first time in my career that I like taking the word family.
Right.
Because before, very fast, everyone says, you're part of the family, but then one thing happens and then you're out. You know?
You're out of the family.
Yeah, out,
Yeah.
family drama. But now it feels for the first time that I'm being supported with super professional people. And at the same time, I'm free. Because
Right.
no one is saying like, oh, this is not techno, or you cannot do that, or this.
Right.
And before I had to be boxed in a little bit. But this year I just felt like I can do whatever I like.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you get to, have some of your favorite artists on the label, and I think the husband gets on the label. Does the husband get some releases on the label?
Kind of, yeah.
Nice, nice. So what does Lilly Palmer do for fun that doesn't involve music?
So 2 years ago, it was after the pandemic. My career really went off, and I had 2 panic attacks at gigs in a short time after each other, and I felt like, oh my God, what's happening here? I think it was also bass related, like there was a lot of vibration on the booth, so that's not good. But also I felt like, hey, I'm so into that business with my mind, and I can't stop. You know, like every day I'm like on my phone from the morning to the evening, and I don't have a break. So I thought, what can I do to get myself out of this a little bit? And I rediscovered my childhood hobby, which is horse riding.
Oh,
yeah. And I bought 2 horses, and now I'm an annoying horse girl.
When you're home, how often do you ride the horses?
Yeah, like every day. Like I'm there every day for like 2-3 hours, and that's the time where I just naturally cannot use my phone.
Right.
And I just use it later to show my videos of riding to my husband.
When did this start? When you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, you started riding horses
Yes,
when you
I
were a
always
kid.
wanted to have a horse, but yeah, we couldn't afford it, or I was not allowed to have one. And now I can do it, and feels like a dream, you know? Like I can buy all those nice outfits for the horses.
Nice. That's amazing.
It's really nice. Like that. It's a dream. It's really a dream coming true. Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so you've had such an amazing year this year. What does Lilly Palmer have in store for 2025? What can we expect? Maybe an album, more music, any type of tours you could talk about?
Yeah, you kind of said it already. First of all, I have some dope collabs coming up.
Nice.
I think one I can say is gonna be with Maddox.
Nice.
So because we're teasing this track for a while already, I can't say the name of it yet because of legal reasons. But this is gonna be a killer. And then some other really, really good collabs. And yes, I'm working on my debut album.
Nice.
Yes, we just have to get together with the labels and talk about when and how, but I guess around ADE. Mm-hmm. And then it makes sense to have an album tour around it.
Right.
It just feels right. We have so much music coming up, and to build something bigger around it. And at the same time, I want to also focus on my own events with Spannung Records.
Nice.
But that is really hard, you know. I have those 2 labels, Armada and Contour, and then at the same time, fueling my own label. It's difficult, but we're expanding our team as well, and we are having a nice agency together with my manager, and that's something what I would love to do later as well. You know, managing other artists and helping them.
She's the business. You are gonna be like, I'm trying to think of somebody that was like an actor and then became like behind the scenes that was just mammoth. Who am I thinking of? Like, that's awesome that I haven't heard one DJ talk about how they want to manage other artists in the future.
No, I think that
you're thinking in a big picture, which I love.
Yeah, or I'm gonna have to breed horses. You know?
One of the two. One of the two.
One of the two.
Both are hard. And when it works out, both are just as satisfying.
Both will make me happy.
Yes. Well, we're excited when you drop the new album. We'll have to do another interview, whether it's on Zoom or something. We want to be able to support your album. We love everything you're doing, and thank you for coming on Powertools.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Powertools.